Good evening and welcome to our nightly telecast of Just the News, where we give you all of the important news that's taken place in the country today. Let's get straight to it. India has reported 4,329 deaths caused by COVID in the last 24 hours. Now, this is the highest number of deaths we've recorded in one day so far. We've also recorded 2,63,000 fresh cases in the last 24 hours, which is a number that has come down sharply. This is the second consecutive day that India has recorded less than 3 lakh new cases. The question, of course, that scientists and people are asking right now is that the number of cases are coming down, but the number of deaths are increasing. The country currently has over 33 lakh active COVID cases at this point. The Serum Institute of India in a statement has said that the company has not exported vaccines overseas at the cost of Indian people. Now, this comes after criticism of both the government and the company for exporting vaccines at a point when India was in dire need. In a press statement, Adar Poonawalla, the CEO of the company, has said, and I quote, "Firstly, in January 2021, we had a large stockpile of vaccine doses. Our vaccination drive had started successfully and daily cases being recorded were at an all-time low. At that stage, most people, including health experts, believed India was turning the tide on the pandemic. Around the same time, many countries were facing an acute crisis wherein the desperate need for help, and our government extended support wherever possible. Another important factor is that people do not realize that we are among the two most populous countries in the world. A vaccination drive for such a large population cannot be completed in 2 or 3 months. That said, it would take 2 or 3 years for the entire world population to be fully vaccinated. We would like to reiterate that we never exported any vaccines at the cost of the people of India and remain committed to do everything we can to support the vaccination drive in the country." This is the statement from Adar Poonawalla. Although Adar Poonawalla says in his statement that in January, many people, including health experts, believe India was turning a tide, we know for sure that there were health experts at that point who advised the government that there was in fact a second wave looming and the government should have prepared for it. Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul has said the Drugs Controller General of India has given permission to Bharat Biotech to conduct clinical trials of Covaxin on children between the ages of 2 and 18. Dr. V.K. Paul has said children in the age groups of 2 to 18 who are infected with COVID are usually asymptomatic and the disease is mild. However, children should also be encouraged to follow COVID-appropriate behavior like wearing masks and maintaining social distancing. The Indian Council for Medical Research, the ICMR, has said plasma therapy in COVID patients has not been found to be effective in reducing the progression of severe disease or preventing death, and therefore it has been dropped from the clinical management guidelines of the Government of India. Now, with cases surging across the country, there has been a spur in the demand and request for plasma donors, even as experts have raised concerns over the efficacy of plasma therapy for COVID-19 patients. Now, earlier in a meeting, the ICMR National Task Force on COVID on Friday, all members were apparently in favor of removing plasma from the clinical guidance management for adults of COVID-19 patients, citing ineffectiveness and inappropriate use in several cases as per reports. The present guidelines offer off-label use of plasma therapy at a very early stage for moderate disease, that is within 7 days of the onset of symptoms, if there is the availability of the plasma donor. This comes after several scientists wrote to the principal scientific advisor, K. Vijay Raghavan, cautioning him against irrational and non-scientific use of convalescent plasma for COVID patients in the country. The Indian Medical Association has now said that 270 doctors across the country have died of COVID-19 in the second wave of the pandemic. This comes after 748 doctors lost their lives in the first wave last year. Bihar has witnessed the highest number of deaths, losing 78 doctors to the second wave, followed by Uttar Pradesh, who lost 37, Delhi at 29, and Andhra Pradesh at 22. The Allahabad High Court has said the entire medical system of the state of Uttar Pradesh, specifically pertaining to smaller cities and villages, is currently Ram Bharose, or at the mercy of God. The court made this observation while examining a matter of a 64-year-old patient, Santosh Kumar, who was reported missing by authorities in the Meerut District Hospital when relatives asked, and his body was then disposed of by the authorities as an unidentified person. A report was submitted to the court by the government of an inquiry that was made by a 3-member team. The court observed, and I quote, "If this is the state of affairs of treatment in a medical college in a city like Meerut, the entire medical system of the state pertaining to smaller cities and villages can only be taken to be like the famous Hindi saying, Ram Barose." Now, during the hearing of a PIL on the COVID situation in Uttar Pradesh, the court also took into account submissions made by the government over health infrastructure in districts, remarking that they were inadequate and warned of the third wave. The bench of Justice Siddhartha Verma and Ajit Kumar also asked why the government is not making vaccines available on a large scale. The Delhi High Court has urged the central government to devise a formula based on which the price of oxygen concentrators can be decided so that people will be able to afford them. Drawing comparisons to Kerala, the bench said if the state of Kerala has fixed hospital prices, then that model should be looked into. If it works in Kerala, why can't it be used here? Advocate Kirtiman Singh, who is appearing on behalf of the central government, said this will not be possible. He argued that the landed price is ultimately determined by the exporter. It's in their hands. If lordships are suggesting we fix a price now because there are different kinds of oxygen concentrators, it's not possible. There are different concentrators with different prices, sizes, and names. To this, the court said, that is not an answer. Work around it. We can't throw our hands up in the air and say it can't be fixed. How can you say the MRP can't be fixed? What to buy, how to use it, there should be information. You should be putting this out in ads. End quote. In the meantime, Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has said that the city of Delhi has only 3 days worth of the Oxford AstraZeneca Covishield vaccine left for the age group of 18 to 44, and the central government has refused to provide any more for this month for this age group. The supplies of the Bharat Biotech Covaxin for the same age group are already over, he said. Manish Sisodia said that there currently have vaccine stocks that will last 4 days, even for people above the age of 45. Sisodia has written a letter to the centre seeking more vaccine doses. In other news now, away from COVID. Following the post-poll violence in West Bengal that claimed the lives of 2 BJP workers, a petition has been filed before the Supreme Court seeking a CBI investigation into the matter. The Supreme Court has asked for a response from the Mamata Banerjee government. The police seeks a formation of a special investigating team by the Supreme Court to look into the murders of Abhijit Sarkar and a BJP booth worker, Haran Adhikari, which need to be investigated according to the plea. The court has issued notice to the state and the matter will be heard next Tuesday. Now, following the arrest of people who allegedly put up posters around Delhi criticizing the Prime Minister Narendra Modi over his handling of the COVID situation, a petition has now been filed before the Supreme Court seeking the quashing of the FIRs registered by the Delhi police against those who put up the posters. The posters read, "मोदी जी हमारे बच्चों की वैक्सीन विदेश क्यों बेच दिया?" End quote. The plea stresses that citizens have a right to freedom of speech and expression, and hence this was not illegal. 25 people have been arrested up till now in various police stations across Delhi for allegedly putting up these posters. Out of this, majority of the people have been released on bail so far. According to the PTI, a senior officer said that more FIRs are likely to be registered if further complaints are received in this regard. As of now, investigation is underway to ascertain on whose behalf these posters were being put up and accordingly take further action. In the meantime, Aam Aadmi Party leader Durgesh Pathak has admitted that he put up the posters. Durgesh Pathak has said the Aam Aadmi Party is behind these posters. I am behind the posters. Arrest me. Our MLAs do not harass the poor people who paste the posters for a meager payment. End quote. The Punjab and Haryana High Court have directed now that live-in relationships are socially and morally not acceptable. This comes after the court declined to grant protection to a couple who allegedly said they were in danger from their parents because they were living together. The couple is currently in a live-in relationship and are set to get married soon. The court observed, and I quote, "As a matter of fact, the petitioners, in the garb of filing the present petition, are seeking a seal of approval on their live-in relationship, which is morally and socially not acceptable, and no protection order will be passed in this petition." Recently, another bench of the same High Court turned down a similar petition saying that entertaining a plea from a live-in couple seeking protection from their relatives would be disturbing the social fabric of society. A Manipur-based journalist, Kishore Chandra Wanghem, who is currently in police custody for a social media post in which he basically said that cow urine and cow dung cannot cure COVID. Now, he had actually written a post with regard to the death of a senior BJP leader and suggested that it was because of COVID and that cow urine and cow dung cannot cure COVID. He has been charged under the stringent National Security Act. Now, this is the second time Wanghem has been charged under the NSA. In 2018, he was detained for the alleged social media post criticizing the Chief Minister of Manipur. Just to bring you up to speed, the National Security Act actually empowers the government to detain a person if authorities feel this person is a threat to national security in order to prevent them from disrupting public order. This has now been used against a journalist for a Facebook post. Jesuit priests in India have written a letter to the Maharashtra Home Minister Dilip Valse Patil requesting immediate medical attention for Father Stan Swami, the 84-year-old who currently suffers from Parkinson's and is in the Taloja Central Jail. Remember, Stan Swami is one of the accused in the Bhima Koregaon case. In a letter, Father Joseph Xavier has said that despite being a Parkinson's patient, Stan Swami had never complained about his health conditions in the last 7 months when he was in custody over the 15 phone calls. However, that day he said, "I feel weak and fragile. There is only one Ayurvedic doctor available in Taloja and there is no access to MBBS doctors. He has a fever, cough, severe headache and an upset stomach. He's been given antibiotics but is not able to move. He has neither been tested for COVID nor has he been vaccinated." Now, there are rising concerns about the spread of COVID-19 in the Taloja jail. Keeping him in prison any longer would be detrimental to his life, said the letter. Moving on now to news coming in from the world of business. Petrol and diesel prices on Tuesday were hiked for the 10th time this month, and they're currently at a record high in the city of Mumbai. Remember, we're on the 18th of May and we've seen 10 hikes so far. And there was a lull in the hikes because there was elections on, and as soon as the election voting was over, the prices began moving up again. In Mumbai, you will now pay for a litre of petrol 99 rupees and 14 paise for the first time ever. In Delhi, petrol now costs 92 rupees and 85 paise. The cost of diesel in the city of Mumbai is 90 rupees and 71 paise. I just want to remind our audience one more time that the actual cost of fuel after importing it, refining it, moving it, paying the dealer commission is no more than 35 rupees. Everything from 35 rupees to 99 rupees is state and central taxes. News coming in now from across the world. The United Nations has now said that over 38,000 Palestinians have been displaced from their homes in Gaza by Israeli airstrikes, and more than 2,500 people are homeless. This also comes after the airstrikes have targeted various buildings, damaging and demolishing many of them. These people would now have moved into UN refugee areas because they can no longer stay in their homes. Meanwhile, the White House has said that Joe Biden has expressed support for a ceasefire during a call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. According to Reuters, the Biden administration has also recently approved a $735 million arms sale to Israel. US lawmakers were not expected to object to the deal despite escalating violence between Israel and Palestine. The US Congress was notified about the commercial sale on the 5th of May. Updates now from the world of sports. Japan's medical organization, the Tokyo Medical Practitioners Association, have written an open letter to the Prime Minister of Japan urging him to cancel the Tokyo Olympics. In the letter, the organization has said that hospitals are already overwhelmed as the country battles a spike in COVID cases less than 3 months from the start of the Summer Games. It said hospitals in the host city have their hands full and have almost no spare capacity. The Prime Minister has said that holding safe and secure Olympic Games was possible if tight preventive measures were implemented. Japan has reported 3,738 cases and 116 deaths in the last 24 hours. Out of this, 419 cases were reported in Tokyo. And one piece of positive news before we leave you for the day. In Karnataka's Gadag district, the superintendent of police, Yatish N, and his staff members are helping migrant workers who are stuck in the district because of the lockdown. Migrant workers were not aware of the lockdown and had come to the district to sell their farm produce. They are now stranded, and the police has helped them by delivering grocery kits and food to them. The police department is now making a list of all of the people who would require the same service. We're going to leave it there. Remember, stay home, stay safe. Leave us your comments and your suggestions in the comment section. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our videos. It will help us and encourage us to work harder. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.